Okay, recording is on. So, welcome everyone. I would like to start with a little ritual to open and to connect to each other, to land where we are. Um, so for this, I invite you to turn away from the screen. So to kind of face slightly away from the screen. Maybe the screen is still somewhere in your field of vision, but it ceases to be this thing which is grabbing your attention. It just becomes another object in your visual field. Take a deep breath and just start to notice the physical space that you are in. So really notice the physical space. Notice the depth of space. Notice objects which are close to you, far away from you. Notice the color of the walls, the color of the floor, texture, the shadows, the light. You can even kind of turn your head and look around you. Recognizing that this computer or this phone is just another object in your physical space. Then also starting to notice the experience of your body. So your body is something that you can see, and the bottom of your eye side, you can see your legs, your hands, maybe even your torso. And it is also something that you can feel. So notice the experience of your body, not just something you see, but also something you can feel here, where you are. Something you can be at home in. The experience of sensation of the body. Every living being has the experience of sensation, what unites us as organisms. Sensations have a texture, a shape, quality. Sensation is movement. So whether it's sensation of your breath or the sensation of your butt sitting on the chair, your feet on the floor, your heartbeat, the warmth of your body, coldness, tension, relaxation, whatever it is, just noticing. And closing down the eyes, just reminding yourself what are you here for? Why are you here for these 10 days? What is it that you want from these 10 days? Why are you here? Maybe it's a sentence, maybe it's a feeling. If you can feel that sentence as something with a feeling in your body, allowing that sentence to drop down into your body rather than it staying up here in your mind. What is the felt experience of that intention, of that reason for being here? Maybe you can even call some of that already. That intention, can you feel 10% of that as a sensation? Maybe it's wanting to be more peaceful, maybe it's being more present, maybe relaxed, maybe it's wisdom, clarity, whatever it is. Can you call 10% of that here? Just a little bit more of that quality or that sensation. Okay. Take a deep breath. And let's open the eyes again. So very welcome to switch on your video camera. And let's just take a look here at all the others. So if you want, you can go in gallery view just to connect visually to other people who are here too today, on this morning or afternoon. Maybe you want to welcome one person or smile at one person that maybe you feel similar to. The one person you feel most similar to, smile. So I would love to hear from you all. What is your intention? Why are you here? Just one sentence. Try not to make it too long. You can write it in the chat. We'll be using the chat function a little bit. The one sentence, the reason why you are here during this 10 days.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm here from Las Vegas, Nevada, but I'm currently in Mount Shasta, California, and super grateful to be here. Thank you for hosting with such a calming presence. I feel the stillness and the pauses. My intention for being here is honestly to cultivate like a stronger connection with God. Yeah, and to see and remember God in all beings, including the enemies, including the maybe harder to see God sometimes beings. Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Emma. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome from LA. Yes, so please continue to share your intentions. Best actually if it's in a chat, otherwise we will use all the time for the voice sharing, but thank you, Emma, for sharing. Margaret is saying, continue to cultivate deeper self-love and compassion. Wonderful. My intention is to bring loving awareness into my daily life. Great. And from Jeremy, it's simply ease. Right. Ivan, I would like to be at peace with whatever there is, tired of running away. What else? Please share. It's really nice to hear. And also the connection with God. To reiterate that. Whatever that is for you. Anyone else would like to share? To learn another meditation technique. Okay. Jenny, why do you want to learn another meditation technique? What is the reason behind that?
Because I find it's helpful, actually, Reimar, to have, that I go through different phases in my life where one technique is really working for me and therefore for everybody around me. But, and so therefore I'm curious to learn this one to see what it will add. And also, I've had friends who've learned Vipassana and recommend it. So.
So if you had to put one in one sentence, what is the reason for you to meditate? Maybe more broadly than that.
Oh, I think connection. Connection with the divine and with others. Yeah.
With divine and with others.
Yeah.
Thank you. What person, Marie? My intention is to become aware of thought patterns and loving kindness in daily life. Right. So we have many different reasons for being here, and each one of them is completely valid. Hold that reason closely to your heart as you practice. As things become difficult, as you get distracted, as sometimes we forget why we are here. We start to play with and get distracted other things, and we forget the true reason that we came here. Why you're all signing up for this 10-day course, because there's something inside you that feels these 2 hours per day will be beneficial to you, and so we're committing to this time again. Right. And yes, maybe I will say a few words about myself just to give some context to why I'm sharing this. And then we can also jump into some sharing, some Q&A, wherever the session starts to go. So my name is Reimar. I started Vipassana about 3 years ago. It really came from an interest to share the practice of Vipassana meditation in a way that is accessible to people. So I started this during COVID when not many people could go on retreats, and I started realizing that, hey, that actually there's a lot of people out there, maybe with families, maybe with a lot of work, who can't take full-time retreats. And so I started sharing it, and I enjoyed it a lot also to do it, and so it was a very beneficial for everyone. I started practicing actually when I was in university, and then it was just a kind of basic practice, a few minutes per day, helping me to study, to be better at job interviews, using it in that manner. And a trip to Peru before I started work kind of deepened the intention for me to meditate. I went on my first meditation retreat, and started with Tibetan samatha meditation, and then did my first Goenka 10-day Vipassana retreat. If someone says they did a 10-day Vipassana, usually it's this style of meditation and body scanning Vipassana style. I was working in finance, working as an investment management analyst, and practicing a lot during that time. Very motivated, 2 hours a day, using all my annual leave for retreat. So it was really something that was burning inside me to be more curious about what's there to learn there. And then at some point, I started to move away. I quit my job. I went to Thailand to practice more. I stayed for some months in a monastery in northern Thailand, where I also started to get exposed to different styles of Vipassana, the Mahasi noting technique, which I'm teaching here, and also very interested in body-based practice, dance improvisation, yoga, freediving, movement. And now I'm taking this course. Now I'm doing this course in Germany. I just came back to my parents' place. So that's a little bit about me, so I can give some perspective from the experiences that I've had. And yeah, but everyone will make their own experience, and everyone will have their own journey with it. My job is really just to facilitate the space and to motivate you to create the space and time in your own day, in your own life, and whatever you discover there is for yourself. And we're not going to discover the same things. We all have a different path, different way. For some people, it helps them calm down. For some people, it helps get out of yourself. For some people, it helps to develop a deeper relationship to your family, whatever it is. And the reasons also keep changing. Actually, for me, every day, it changes a little bit why I meditate. This morning, I didn't get a very good sleep, and meditation was more as a space to rest, a space to sleep. So every day is different. Cool. yeah, let's open it up. So maybe just to say, be mindful that we are a few people here, 12 people. So if you can share your question or anything you want with voice also, unmuting yourself, but just be mindful that we are many, so not delving too much into unnecessary stories, but trying to stay a little bit concise. Otherwise, you can also write in the chat. You can say anything that was difficult or ask specific questions about technique or what are you apprehensive about for the 10 days. And yes, and
Okay, hi everyone. It took me a minute to get the mute. So yeah, I have a little question. This is like, I don't know, the third or fourth course I've taken with you, Reimar, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. My intention is different this time. And I wanted to, before I was practicing at home, mainly in the same room for the 2 sessions. And this time, because of the time of the year, and I live next to a beach, I wanted to actually get out of my house and go there for the 2 sessions. So I did it. I did it last night and I did it this morning. Oh boy. So it's a lot more distracting. It was a lot more distracting. And I'm just wondering, should I keep on with it? I mean,
why was it distracting?
But it was a lot, more distracting. I would say that.
What was distracting?
Oh, it was such a beautiful day. There's so much beauty. I'm just, my mind was kind of going there, the waves were just really beautiful and everything, the texture of the sand, everything was just beautiful. There weren't that many people on the beach this morning. I went really early, but the couple of people that passed me by, they were beautiful. They were, it was kind of funny. So I was wrapped up in that, like even like they would smile, they were smiling and nodding and so I got a little wrapped up in that. And I started
feeling.
And then
how did you deal with that? How did you deal with that?
Come back okay. To the, like when I was walking. So I did walking and sitting there. So, well, I would relish it a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't come back right away. Yeah, the distractions at my house, maybe because they're consistent or something. Like when I practice at my house, I'm coming back faster. There, it felt so good that I would let it go for a little while and then come back.
Sure.
Maybe because it's new. I don't know. I've only done it twice.
So I would actually invite you to continue because that is your intention and your commitment to make that little experiment, and also because you already did the course a few times in the more contained way, let's say. So it's important when we start to, this is more for everyone, it's important when we start to learn a technique, when we first practice to meditate, we have a little bit more of a container for it. So we have this stillness, the same space, the same room, and not so many distractions. And there we learn, there's already many distractions happening all the time. So we learn a little bit how to do it. But then it's also important to take that skill into life. So actually, there's something called trigger practice, where you are consciously putting yourself in situations where there is more stimulation and trying to maintain the same quality of awareness that you do when it is silent, when it's still. And so, Frannie, you can view it a little bit like this. And in this case, the trigger practice is pleasant. So there's many pleasant things, and probably there was many pleasant thoughts going through your head. Oh, that's so nice, or the beach, or the wind, or the feeling of the sand, whatever pleasant thoughts you were having. And So then for you, that the lesson is there, how not to attach to the pleasant, how to just recognize the pleasant as more phenomena coming and going.
Yeah. Yeah. I think now that you're saying that, I'm realizing something. The issue was not in noticing something pleasant, but it made me look for the next pleasant thing instead of being where I was.
Yeah.
You know, what else fits into this pleasant day?
Yeah.
So I put a filter on a little bit. I wasn't in the moment in a certain way, because it made me start craving for the next beautiful thing. What else is beautiful today? Oh, look at, there's a dolphin. What else is beautiful? You know, that was, it wasn't like what else is beautiful.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
anyway, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And there's definitely space for that throughout the life to notice more the good and the positive. But for the practice period, try to be in equanimity towards all phenomena, no preference towards good, bad, neutral. Because every preference will have a flip side to it. Okay, thank you. Jenny, you unmuted yourself before. I'll let you go next.
Sorry, what are you saying to me? You want me to speak?
You unmuted yourself before, so I thought maybe you wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that I find it really hard to stay awake in the second one of the day. I mean, I'm literally just falling asleep the whole time, and I'm not especially tired. You know, generally, there's no reason that I can think of. But you did mention that on the WhatsApp. You gave an answer to somebody else who I think was feeling the same way. But I just wondered if you could say a couple of words about it. I mean, I can correct myself and so on. I don't get so distracted because I've been meditating for 25 years plus.
Yeah.
So I kind of know a lot of the theories.
Yeah.
But I don't usually fall asleep.
So why do you think you're falling asleep in this?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, maybe it is just an opportunity to rest, sitting there. It's quite a long meditation process as well, to take a whole hour. That's longer than I'm used to doing. So maybe that plays into it.
Yeah. And how are you relating to that sleepiness?
How am I relating to what?
The sleepiness.
I'm pretty chilled about it.
Okay.
And I can just kind of sit myself up and focus back on the breath and so on.
If the sleepiness is a fog, do you feel that you are caught in the fog or able to recognize and observe the fog from the outside?
Oh, I can recognize it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not caught in it. I can recognize it.
So that's good. So sleepiness in itself is not the problem. Sleepiness can arise. And what I was saying in the WhatsApp chat is like a few little tricks to help you. And that's only if you feel the sleepiness is completely covering everything and you are a little bit like sinking down in the mud of sleepiness and you are drowsy and awareness is clouded by sleepiness. But if awareness can see sleepiness as just another phenomena of body and mind, then you are doing your job of remaining aware. There's only a problem when sleepiness starts to cover our mindfulness.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, that's really useful actually. Thank you.
A little trick also is to observe and try to recognize the body and the mind of sleepiness. So sleepiness has some sensory component to it, like some certain sensations in the body, whether it's around the eyes or head or heaviness or sinking feeling, sometimes there's a pleasant aspect, sometimes an unpleasant aspect. And also there's a mind component, how your perception is clouded, how your perception gets slower, how your perception becomes more pleasant. So try to notice these different components of sleepiness, kind of like deconstructing sleepiness, and it would help you develop clarity of mind even with the state of sleepiness.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful. Yeah.
And yeah, because you've been meditating longer and you've experienced this, like, then the answer becomes a little bit different. And if for in the beginning, it's more, if there's a lot of sleepiness, likely it becomes a blanket which we are falling asleep in. So it's better just to take a deep breath and maybe, okay, let's do this, like kind of re-clarify, establish wakefulness. But you can observe it too. Good. What else?
Hi, Emma here again.
Hello.
Curious if you would be able to speak a little bit to the history of Vipassana and the lineage.
Sure. I'm not an expert on the history, but from my understanding, so there was the Buddha in India, northern India, 2,500 years ago, and he was teaching techniques, and he was giving a lot of different ways for people. So he said there's like 80,000 different sutras, which are basically 80,000 different ways the Buddha explained to people the practice of the Dharma. And some of those ways were for children, some of them for housewives, some of them for workers, some of them for very intellectual, some of them for not so intellectual people. So he gave a very broad range of teachings. All these teachings were actually only 500 years after his death were written down, and this is what we call the Tipitaka. And it's like a collection of all the sutras, which were first recited orally and then written down. And then we have Theravada Buddhism, which is the type of Buddhism which is concerned with the study of these sutras and tries to create the techniques from these sutras. And we also have Mahayana Buddhism, which spread more through China, and then Japan, Zen Buddhism. And then we also have Vajrayana, which is more the Tibetan Buddhism style, which came later. And Vipassana meditation is from this Tipitaka. So it is the style of meditation that spread to Burma and other Southeast Asian countries. And they say it was maintained in its purity. And this is the practice that the Buddha really practiced and taught. And it's true that a lot of the old sutras, they talk specifically about the four foundations of mindfulness, the Satipatthana, which is the kind of primary text that the Vipassana technique is based on. And there's actually different styles of Vipassana. There's like Goenka Vipassana, which is body scanning. There's the Mahasi noting style Vipassana, which is one which developed in the last 200 years by a monk named Mahasi Sayadaw. This is the one we are kind of practicing here. And yeah, so this is said to be the kind of most, the closest to the original words of the Buddha, the technique that we're practicing. And for me, I really like it because I feel that it's very systematic It's very easy to understand and non-dogmatic, and it's very simple and logically built up for Western minds to understand. And I think that's why it's become also so popular in the West.
Thank you so much. That was super helpful. One last little request is, if you wouldn't mind, if you are spacious for it and it's readily available, to maybe drop like a document in the WhatsApp group. Just sometimes it's helpful for me to hear it and also to see it, and then it integrates.
You mean about the history or about technique?
Mhm.
About the history.
History, yes.
Okay, I don't have a perfect link for it. I can collect it from many different things,
Thank you
but
so much.
I will try to find something for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But remembering that this is a 10-day course, not about the history and where it comes from. This is a 10-day course in the technique and the practice of it, the always practice. And if you use your practice time to think about where it came from, it's not going to be helpful.
Thank you.
So actually the Buddha, whenever he was asked questions which are not directly concerned with how to practice, he chose not to answer them. Sometimes I think maybe I should do that. Maybe if someone asks me something like philosophical or about the history, I just like, I don't want to answer that. But I think for us Westerners, it sometimes helps us to trust it more if we know a little bit about what's around it. Hey, what else is there? And please feel free, if at any point you need to get up, you need to stretch, you need to walk around the room a little bit. Please do that.
Can I ask you something else?
Ivan was just unmuting, so I will get him.
Oh, okay. Then
but we will go to you after.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. I'm not used to meditate for so long. So I was wondering, I am for some reason very scared to move while sitting. And it's pretty uncomfortable. So first time I tried to sit on a chair, and the next one in kneeling position. Yeah, it feels like I'm going to try a lot of different ways to sit before I will find one that works.
Yes. Did you say you are scared to move while sitting? Is that the first thing you said?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that for some reason it seems that there is something precious and it will be disturbed by me moving.
Yes. So you don't move, and you're saying you feel very uncomfortable because you haven't found the right posture for you. So you're scared to move, and you feel something precious that you want to keep, but you haven't found the right posture. So I hear you are a little bit struggling with this. Maybe there's physical pain or restlessness. Yes. So maybe something to say. It's okay to figure out your posture a little bit, especially beginning, to figure out what works best for you. kneeling, seated, leg supported, leg not supported, there, whatever. It's good to not move, but it's also not to be holding tightly to trying not to move. So if you're trying to hold very tightly to, no, I have to do it this way, and then there will be fear to move. There will be fear to not do it in that way, fear of losing out on something unless you keep it like this. And it's important that not moving comes from more of a open relaxation. So not moving is partly a consequence of the depth of your meditation. It's also something that you can a little bit intend to do, but if you need to move, and if there's pain, and if you feel that pain is really growing a lot, a little bit of discomfort, okay, of course, you can move and try to move slowly, mindfully. So it's not like a reactive movement, like slapping a mosquito, but it's like, okay, there's pain, you're recognizing there's pain, and then you can slowly move the posture. And if you do it slowly, mindfully, try to be aware of the feeling of moving, the sensation of moving the leg, the arm, and then reestablish the position. And in that way, it won't disturb as much your meditation. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Then you want to say something else?
Yeah, I was just going to, it kind of continues from what, the previous question actually, is that my sort of instinct is to, like our friend here, is to actually go outside and do the walking one outside. But I'm new to this technique, completely new. It's the first time I've done it. So, you know, what would your advice be? To stick with the inside for now, and or to take myself outside, which is kind of what I'd like to do.
I would say stay inside and notice the thinking about this topic. Notice when thinking arises about this topic. Oh, I want to be outside, or it would be nicer outside. These thoughts which are generated, actually, actually, it doesn't matter where you do it. You can do it anywhere. And if you are very deep in the technique, it doesn't matter where you are. You forget your surroundings. It just becomes body and mind.
Yeah.
So if you go outside, there will be some pleasant things to observe. If you are inside, you will start to miss outside. And every situation has just different things to observe.
Yeah.
But maybe for the sake of getting established in it, we kind of create this retreat setting so that people will also go away to 10-day retreat, no talking, and to create that container to learn it and go deep.
Okay, thank you.
What else is there? Especially if you haven't had the chance to talk yet, to ask anything yet. If you have some topics which are floating around a little bit and are not clearly formulated questions yet, feel free to share those also. There's no bad questions. It's just honest questions.
I have one more question about walking meditation. I haven't ever tried to do it before. So I'm wondering what you can say about, what you can recommend about how fast to go.
Yeah. How fast are you going now?
First time I went really, really slow. And second time was a bit faster, but still pretty slow.
Yes, walking meditation. So actually there's many different ways you can do walking meditation. And I've tried many different speeds. Walking at normal speed back and forth in a larger space, that works. Usually we don't have so much space, a few meters, so I go quite slow, one step every few seconds. Actually, the speed is not so important. What is more important is to understand what we're doing while walking meditation. And what we're doing is creating mindful awareness of body and mind at the present moment. And so we're trying to create the right form, the right conditions for that awareness to be, for us to be able to put intentionality and energy into creating that mindful awareness of the present moment. And so for this technique, to recommend to go slower, to do one step at a time. But let's say not to go so slow that it's just about walking slow motion, because if it becomes about walking slow motion, then you forget the priority of attention and being aware. At the same time, if you're just trying to walk fast and it's just about doing laps and starts becoming an exercise, physical exercise or something, you also forget the priority of being mindfully aware of your sensations of your body, of the mind that keeps going somewhere. And there's also something about the nervous system. So if you walk in a more calm, slow, simple manner, then the nervous system will also start to relax a little bit. And when we are relaxed, it's a bit more easy to be aware, to pay attention. So there is no perfect speed, is what I'm saying. And I think important is to go one step at a time and to do it slow enough that you don't feel rushed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. May I ask you to please talk about the course logistics to make sure I understand correctly? We're going to have one meditation in the morning, one at night, and 2 sessions of Q&A. Is that correct? So the structure of the course, we have 2 meditations every day, except the first day, which was yesterday, Friday, and the last day, which is the coming Monday. Each day in between, there's 2 meditations per day, one in the morning, one in the evening. That's the same for all of the days. You have the 1-hour recordings for morning, 1 hour in the evening. You get those via the email or the portal. There's 3 Q&A sessions. This one, midweek, and in the end of the week. So Saturday, Wednesday, and Saturday. There's 2 time slots for each Q&A. So now is the later one. We have the morning one, and the earlier. You can attend both or just one of them, up to you, or none of them, and watch the recording. And that's it. I think it's quite straightforward. So you can do those meditations whenever suits you best. You can. I like to do it before I start my day. I like to do it in the evening at the end of everything. The morning one prepares you a little bit for the day. The evening one is kind of digesting all of the experiences of the day and ready for the sleep. So there's slightly different, depending on the time of day we meditate, it will be a different meditation. And of course, it's different every day. But in general, there will be different meditations because we have a cyclical day. If you want, you can even put in a few minutes during your day if you're extra. Is it okay to do the meditation more than twice? Yes, absolutely. You can. It's actually a good practice to do it a few times throughout your day if you feel, maybe once or twice or more, and to try to do it without any guidance. So just to set a timer and to try to apply the same technique or some of the principles that you're learning through the guided meditation on your own. Maybe it can be a shorter time, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And in that way, you are really deepening those principles because you are practicing to do it by yourself. It's like with anything, like learning to drive. In the beginning, we have the driving instructor near us, next to us, but we also try to do it without the driving instructor sometimes to try to learn how to do it ourselves. And of course, not so much that we start crashing and it goes wrong, but maybe a little bit in the car park. And then over time, we don't need the driving instructor anymore. So especially in the end of the course, some people, the driving instructor is not there anymore, and then like, oh no, how do I do it? So it's also nice to practice without the driving instructor. The driving instructor being the guided meditation. Okay. Maybe space for one more comment or question or anything you wish to express. Speak now. Next opportunity will be Wednesday. Okay. One thing you are taking away for today, and let's write it in the chat. One thing that stuck with you, that resonated with you, maybe something you formulated yourself based on what you heard, maybe something that was directly relevant to you. Please share it in the chat, then we can see each other's lessons.
Yeah, one thing I'm taking away from today's Q&A is the Buddha wouldn't answer with direct questions, but with more curiosity and further inquiry. And I would love to adapt that into my daily lifestyle, actually. People do come for lots of advice and healing, and I would love to take this new approach. So I'm going to sit with that. I'm going to work on that.
Much gratitude. And that's what you're taking away. Great. It's okay to move. Stillness probably shouldn't be forced. Yeah. Stillness is something that arises as a consequence. The same thing with peace, actually, or calmness. And it arises as a consequence of being clearly aware. So in Vipassana meditation, not something you need to force to be peaceful. Of course, you can have the attitude of non-reactivity, of letting things be, but the resulting peace that arises is the consequence. Okay. Take care, everyone. And thank you very much. And I wish you good luck with the practice. This is the most important time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Reimar. Bye, everyone.